Knowing how to deal with our kids' big emotions is not always easy, but parenting coach Joanna is joining us today to share easy and fast to implement tips that we can all use to help our kids feel seen, heard, and understood without the tears and tantrums. Watch now and help your kids not only learn to recognize their emotions, but also how to deal with them. I'm very excited today to introduce Joanna. She's a parenting coach and she's helping parents build relationships through positive communication. Hi, Joanna, welcome.
Hi, thank you for your invitation.
We're very happy to have you here and we're looking forward to get some nice tips from you today. So I'm sure the audience are eager to get to know you a little bit better. So tell us something about yourself. Most people don't know.
Okay, so I think only few people know that I'm addicted to chocolate.
That's a great addiction, eh?
It was really funny because before I had kids, I used to eat like 1 or 2 bars of chocolate every day and I was fine with it. Then I had kids and I really wanted to introduce, a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, but I was still addicted.
How old are your kids now, Joanna?
4 and 6.
Joanna, so at the moment, one of my biggest parenting struggles is just to keep my family safe and healthy during the current pandemic. Is there something that keeps you up at night?
Yes, to be honest, yeah, it is a very difficult time for us. And my father was waiting for an operation, and 3 times it was cancelled because they had COVID at hospital. So really, last few months was like keeping all of us isolated, taking care of my father, worrying about all this. And now the situation is better. Luckily, he had his operation. He's fine, but still it doesn't change my being worried about my whole family. And at the same time, I know it's out of our control. So at least to some degree. So I just try to live normally, but yeah, that worries me a lot.
I think it's definitely on top of all of our minds at the moment. And I think it's very important that we don't carry this anxiety, onto our kids. They need to see that we're comfortable, we're dealing with it, and we're there to support them. Because as you know, as moms, as soon as we are anxious and worried, so are our kids, right?
That's true, yeah. But it's also about being transparent, I think. So at some point, I think it's okay to tell our children that we are also, scared and worried. But as you said, we can't exaggerate because then they start panicking. So it doesn't help, yeah.
Definitely. And Joanna, what is the one thing that most parents will face at some point in their lives that you believe you can help them with, and why?
I think all of us at some point have to handle our own and our children's anger and outbursts. And and I really see the pattern among the parents who I work with and who I know, that we really try to be the best parents we can, and we learn a lot, we read a lot, but then at some point we don't see the reaction. We think it doesn't work. We ask our children politely, they don't react, so we get triggered, start shouting, do something that we really don't like. We don't want to behave like that, so then we feel guilty. And it's like a vicious circle, because then when you are guilty again, you can't behave in a really right way. So so I think this handling emotions, especially anger, of parents and children is something that I love doing and I love helping parents with, because I started actually my journey like as a coach or educator with cooperation topic. But then I've noticed that no matter how great tools you have, if you don't have this peace of mind, if you don't have this confidence, if you're not calm, it just doesn't work. So we have to start, I think, at this point.
Okay, I think that's a very important topic. And what are your 3 best tips for parents to handle this anger that we feel and the emotions that go with it?
There is a lot we can do. Parents usually search for tools first to help their children to calm down. So maybe I will share one of my favorite tricks. I call it 3 times yes. So basically what you have to do is to ask 3 questions for which you will get an answer yes. So, for example, your child, you are on the playground and you want to go home, and of course your child would say, no, 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 I want to stay longer, right? So what we usually do is, yeah, we have to go home now, it's late, you know how it is, it's always the same. So we behave in this way, and then again we have the answer, no, I want to stay. And if instead of such reaction, we will introduce those 3 questions, and we would ask, for example, the first question, are you angry? Of course they are, because they want to stay, so they will tell us yes. This question also helps us to teach our children talking about emotions and recognizing our emotions. So we teach them at the same time, okay, if you behave like this, probably you are angry. And what stands behind it? So the second question can be, are you angry because you want to stay longer and I want to go? Usually what you observe, the child starts thinking, yes. So you already, you know, managed to have some contact with him, and also they start to analyzing what's happening. And then the third question could be something like, oh, it would be great to stay all day long and play with your friends instead of going home and doing something else. And they're like, yes, yes. So there is another trick here to take a child to this world of dreams, imagination. And it's kind of like with affirmation. If you really feel it, if you imagine that it is happening, then your body feels as if it was real. Yeah. So a child very often calms down after those 3 questions. And most importantly, they feel understood, seen, heard, taken into account. So this is what they really need when they shout no. It's like, you know, see me, I'm here, I have my own needs. Yes. So we want to show that we understand them. And for me, it's quite easy because I really can understand that they want to stay there longer. So I don't pretend, I really, you know, feel it. And then after such conversation, you can say something like, I understand, or I see you. And at the same time, we have to go now. And this is the second tip I would like to share with parents, that it's a very small change in the way you communicate with your child. It's like changing the word but with at the same time. Because when you use but, it's like you actually delete everything what you have said earlier, and the listener focuses on the second part of the sentence. So even if you try to say, I understand you want to play, but we have to go now, it's really showing that the part after but is more important. Yes. If you substitute that with at the same time, it's showing, okay, your is important and mine is as well. So then it equals. And it really helps. I know at the beginning it sounds very artificial. It sounds, oh, how can it help? You know, a lot of parents disbelieve in it. But then when they start doing this, and actually when we observe how often we say but, then it's really show us that the balance is not right. And I encourage you to try and observe it, and then try to substitute it at the same time, and at the same time, maybe like that. Yeah. So I see you, and at the same time, it's time for the supper, for example. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good example. All right. And the third tip that you have?
And the third tip is something which I personally love, and I think it helps to solve a lot of different problems which we have in family. I call it a round of gratitude. Okay. So what you do is you sit with your whole family. We do it in the evening because then it's easy to, you know, one thing is that most of us are at home at that time, and also you collect your experiences and observations during the whole day. So we sit together, and we, each of us thank the other members of the family for something that they did that day, for something that happened. So for example, I would say, you know, to my daughter, thank you that you smiled so nicely at me in the morning when you woke up. It made my day great. Yeah. Then to my son, I don't know, thank you that you helped your sister to reach for this book, which was too high for her. Then I would say something to my husband. Thank you that you did the shopping today, for example. And very important thing, at the end, I thank myself. Something what a lot of us haven't practiced and which I think is really, really important. We have to appreciate ourselves as parents, as people. Yeah. So I would say to myself, like, you know, thank you that I made a dinner today, even though I was tired and didn't feel like doing this. And then the next person goes and they thank everyone, including themselves. And all of us just, you know, go and take run. It's really, at the beginning, it might take you a few minutes because people have to learn how to do it. But then it goes like, you know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, very easy, very fast, and very, very helpful. Like, it really improves the relationship between children if you have more than one child. Yeah, it helps improve your self-esteem, each of you. It helps. My husband noticed when I introduced it in my house, after a few days or weeks, he was like, you know, now I have to focus all day long what they do right, what I can thank them in the evening. And I can't just focus on the things that, you know, they do wrong and they should improve. It's such a huge change of your perspective. Really start paying attention to the small details which they do right, which you want to appreciate. And it helped all of us and all families who introduced it in their lives actually told me that it's amazing how powerful it is. So I think all those tips are easy, fast to implement, actually, because I love the, you know, the techniques which are easy and fast to implement. You don't need a lot of time to learn how to do it and, you know, to prepare something. But I believe they are very, very helpful. Yeah,
I think they're brilliant, Joanna. Thank you so much for sharing that. And those are takeaway messages that our parents can implement, as you say, right away. It's things that we will remember to do, because sometimes these strategies that we're supposed to be using to be better parents is just so complicated and so difficult, and you need a page next to you to remember what on earth this person, you know, told you to do. So these things are not like that at all. They're practical, they're easy, and they're definitely things that we can start using today. So thank you so much for that. And if our audience want to learn even more from you, where can they find you?
Okay, so the easiest way is just to go to my website, which is www.joannastawska.com. And then you can find, you know, all the courses I offer. Because as I mentioned, I really believe we have to work on all those areas. So communication, cooperation, plus emotions and how to cope with them. So you can find the courses there. You can also book a coaching session with me. The first one is for free. So I always believe we have to get to know each other and then decide if I can help you, how I can help you. So I think it's the best way, just to, you know, have this contact and possibility to talk. And also I share more tips like that on my in my ebook. It's free to download. So I also tried to show some easy steps to make your parenting easier and more joyful. And yeah, and on social media, I exist as Happy Imperfect Parent on Facebook and Instagram. And I also would love to see you in my group of Happy Imperfect Parents, where we support each other and where I also share a lot of tips to help. Yeah.
Okay, and then the big question for today is, are you a good mom or a good enough mom?
So definitely I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect mom, but I still try to be happy. That's why I called myself a happy imperfect parent. And yeah, that's the question a lot of us, you know, ask. I believe that, you know, am I good enough? And most of us answer, I'm not good enough. I should be better. So I believe in improvement. I believe we have to work on ourselves. As I also said, very often parents come to me to fix a child. And then we realize together, okay, first we have to fix ourselves as parents. And then a lot of problems will just disappear, yeah, because the child will follow. So I believe in this improvement, but not from the position of fear, of the feeling of guilt, I believe we have to accept ourselves that, okay, we do the best we can. This is what we were taught by our parents, but by our society. And we have to forgive ourselves. And then we can move on from this position. We can learn, we can improve, but it must be acceptance first. So.
Okay, I agree. And I believe that we can call ourselves good moms. We have to believe that we are good. We don't have to be just good enough. Neither do we need to be perfect, but we can believe that we are good moms. Just like you said earlier, we need to have gratitude for what we do and what we are. And with that, to me, is admitting that you're a good mom. You're doing the best you can. Neither you nor your kids are perfect, but we can definitely be good moms. Right?
That's true. That's very, very true. Yes.
Just in general, when you are trying to teach your kids something, is there a struggle that you're having other than what we've touched on already?
I think my biggest struggle, but I would say mine, not my children's, is to stick to a schedule, to a plan. I know it works best. I know that in families where you have this schedule, you have this plan, it really works. The routine is something what our kids need. And they function much better if you have it. This is my personal struggle because I'm a very spontaneous person. I hate schedules. I hate working according to the plan. I just, I love my freedom. I love doing something with passion. So if I have a day for cleaning the house, I do it. If I have the day for working, I will work 10 hours. And I can't just, follow the plan. Okay, from 9 to 10, I'll be cleaning and then working. But what I've noticed, keeping my kids at home for the last few months, is that they need it. They need to follow this routine because this is what they are used to in the kindergarten, at school. And if you give too much of freedom, like, you have no plan, no routine, actually it's good for a while, like great holidays for everybody, but not in the long term, especially if you have those duties, like you have children who must do their homework, who must attend classes. So I believe that the plan is very helpful, but very important here is to encourage your children to create this plan, like not to impose this plan on them, but invite them. Let's create it together. Let's make the list of whatever we need to do during the day together. And then they feel the authors of this project, of this plan, and they are more willing to follow it. I think parents very often forget about it, that children, no matter what age they are at, want to be active participants and create the rules together, create the schedule together, being taken into account, being seen and heard. And then if you ask them, like, okay, so let's sit, let's create this plan together, and we try to give them as much freedom as possible. In those frames, I always compare it to the painting, that together we create a frame, and you can't just go out of it, but what you paint inside and how you want to paint it is actually your decision. And then the children feel the freedom, the power. They can rule, they can decide, they can, say something, and they are the authors of this plan. So they are much more willing to follow it.
I agree. That's very valuable. And, the best decision or the best way to get a child to do something is to make them decide to do that.
Exactly.
We can't force them to do anything. When it's their decision, it's so much easier. It's so much easier reminding them that they want to do it. They want to stick to the plan. It's the plan they drew up. I think it's so powerful, as you say, to have them create it, have them be part of it. And at the same time, it's quality time we spend with them. Doing a project like that together, it's you listen to them, you hear how they think and how they want to do things. I think it's a very, very important strategy to keep in mind.
And then you also have to include your duties there to show them that it's not that I only require something from you, but also from myself. And we both can keep an eye on it. And you can also remind me that, I should do something or whatever. And it really makes them engaged and happy to cooperate with you.
Yes, for sure. And is there something you wished someone told you before you had kids?
Yes, I think I wished someone told me to ask for help and not to try cope with everything by myself, and just simply ask other people as often as you can for help. Because I was this kind of parent who, I wanted to do everything by myself. I didn't want to take anybody's time just, to help me. Or maybe I was too proud to show that, I'm just too weak to do something. We have all those visions that, okay, I wanted a child first and then more children. So I have to prove that I can deal with it. And I think it's a huge mistake. I wish somebody told me, like, people are willing to help you, and people will not assess you that you are not a good mother because you need help. So, this is what I really encourage parents to do. And actually, at any stage, even if you have older children, it doesn't matter. You have friends, you have family members who are willing to help. And very often, I believe they don't ask us if we need some help because maybe they are afraid that it will be a suggestion that we are not coping well. So they don't come and tell us, oh, you can't do it by yourself. I need to help you. So they are quiet. But as soon as you ask them, they are so happy to help you. That really it's about clear communication. It's like, okay, I don't mind if you say no, if you can't help me, if you don't have time, that's okay. And at the same time, instead of but, coming back to my previous tip, you can say, and at the same time, if you have a spare hour, I would love your help. So I wished I knew it a few years ago.
I think that's great advice for new moms, and even for others. Even when our kids are older, when they're not babies anymore, and we don't think we need as much help, we still do. Just having a break, having someone else that you trust take care of your kids for a while, so you can do something for yourself and just recharge. And after that, be a better mom for it. We're so used to just saying there's no time, but sometimes we just have to reach out, ask for help, and make time to take better care of ourselves.
That's very true.
Thank you for watching this Good Mom interview with Joanna from johannastawska.com. Go and try her 3 great tips on how to deal big emotions, and let us know if it's helping you avoid the tears and the tantrums. Remember to subscribe and like this video, and visit us for more Good Mom advice. I'm Esty Adesandrini from healthyfamilyandme.com. See you soon.